What's up guys, Groovy Guitar Dude here with a beginner guitar tutorial for Wish You Were Gay by Billie Eilish. If this video helps you out, hit that like and subscribe button and let me know down in the comments below what other songs by Billie Eilish that you want to learn on guitar. Guys, the first thing you want to know to play Wish You Were Gay on guitar is that we're going to be in standard tuning and we are not going to need a capo to play this song. The next thing you want to know for Wish You Were Gay is the structure of this song. We're going to start with verse 1, then we're going to go to chorus, then verse 2, then chorus again, then bridge, and then we're going to finish up with one last chorus. From there, you'll want to know the 5 chords that we need to play this song. The first one is A minor, the next one is D, the next one is G, the next one is E minor, and the last one is D over F sharp. And I'll have chord charts for all of those in the pinned comment below for those of you who need them. And guys, with all that in mind, let's dive into Wish You Were Gay. Man, this is a great song for beginner guitarists, particularly for anyone who does not have a lot of experience with finger picking. This is a really good kind of beginner intro to finger picking. And one other thing I love about this song for beginners is the chord progression for this. We're pretty much going to have the same chord progression through almost the entire song. There's a little bit of an exception in the chorus, and we'll get to that in just a minute, but the chord progression that we're pretty much going to be using through the entire song is this: A minor, D, G, and E minor. And like I said, I love that for beginners because you really don't have to think too much about what's going on over here and you can focus more about what's going on over here. Again, for beginner finger pickers, you can pay less attention to this and pay more attention to this, which is great for starting out. So with that in mind, the first thing we're going to look at is verse 1. Now, verse 1 and verse 2 are a little bit different. I'm going to explain that in just a minute, but first let's take a look at verse 1. So for each one of those chords, we're going to have what's called a bass note. And if you don't know what a bass note is, it's just the lowest note of whichever chord you're playing. So for our A minor, it's going to be on our A string. For our D, it's going to be on your D string. For your G, it's going to be on your low E string. And for your E minor, it's going to be also on your low E string. And then we also have that D over F sharp, but we're going to only use that chord during the strum pattern part of this, so we don't need to worry about what our bass note is for that. So with that in mind, let's take a look at this first picking pattern that we hear in the very beginning of verse 1. So for our first picking pattern that we're going to see in verse 1, it's going to be this. We're going to have bass note, G, B, and high E all played at the same time, and then we're going to slap it after each chord. So basically it's going to be like this. About like that. We're going to repeat that twice through the chord progression, and then we're going to switch our picking pattern over to this. We're going to have bass note, G, bass note, high E, slap for each chord. We're going to repeat through that one twice, and then that will take us into chorus. So first picking progression, twice, second picking progression, twice, and then we're into chorus. And then for verse 2, we're just going to use that second picking progression all the way through verse 2 with the same chord progression, right? So still same chord progression for the verse 2, A minor, D, G, E minor, but we're only going to use that second picking pattern for verse 2 all the way through. So verse 1 is the only time we use that little bass note, G, B, E all at the same time, slap. That's the only place we use that is in verse 1 for those first 2 times through that. So I'm going to run through that verse 1 chord progression with both of those picking patterns very slowly, and I'm going to run through the whole thing full speed once so you can match it up with the speed of the song. Slowly should look about like this. And guys, once all the way through that verse chord progression with both of those picking patterns should look about like this. And then guys, like I said, for verse 2, we're just going to play that same chord progression, but we're only going to play the second picking pattern, which is again that bass note, G, bass note, high E, slap thing. We're just going to play that. We're going to play that 4 times through. We're not going to play the other first picking pattern that we played at the beginning of verse 1. So real quickly through verse 2, we'll look about like this full speed. And guys, from there we're into what's being played for our choruses and our bridge. For our choruses and our bridge, we're going to have almost the same exact chord progression, but we're going to add just a little bit to it. So our chord progression for chorus and bridge is going to be A minor, D, G, and E minor. And then you'll see in parentheses we have D over F sharp and G. And the reason those are in parentheses is because we're doing something a little bit different for strum pattern for those, and we'll get to that in just a second. So for strum pattern, for all of the chords that are not in parentheses, we're gonna have 2 down strums per chord. So kind of like this. And then we get to the chords that are in parentheses. For the chords that are in parentheses, we're going to have a single down strum for each one of those chords. But here's the catch. It's a really quick transition. So it goes like this from your E minor. It goes down, 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 straight back into that A minor. It's very quick chord transitions, not too terribly complicated. All the chords in that are fairly easy, but what's tricky is just getting that full speed. So guys, a couple of times, full speed through that chord progression with that strum pattern should look about like this. And guys, that is everything that you need to know to play Wish You Were Gay on guitar. As always, if you have any questions, you can hit me up in the comments below. I'm usually pretty quick getting back to those. And again, if this video helped you out, hit that subscribe button. I have about 645 other guitar and ukulele lessons on this channel, and I usually try to post at least 3 to 5 new lessons every single week. So if you're learning guitar or ukulele, there could not be a more perfect channel for you to check out. If you want to see what song I'm jamming on today or pictures of my dog, you can hit up my Instagram story at The Groovy Guitar Dude. Link for that will be in the description below. Guys, I am so stoked for more new Billie Eilish songs to come out. I'm so stoked for her new album. I have actually really gotten into Billie Eilish, and you guys are actually who introduced me to Billie Eilish. I had no idea who she was or anything about her music until you guys told me about her music, and so thank you for that. You guys have introduced me to kind of one of my new favorite artists lately, and she's awesome, and I'm so stoked for this song. She actually did like a rough recording of this song with just her and an acoustic guitar like quite a while back ago. It looked like she just did it on her phone. Like, man, I didn't really look at the date on it, but it looked like it was maybe almost a year ago or something like that. And so it's kind of cool that we're finally seeing this as an album version. And if you are interested, it's actually kind of a cool story behind the song, or kind of a funny story behind the song, and she talks about it in that little video. So I'll link that in the pinned comment as well, just if you're interested in seeing that. It's cool to see her perform this song just with her and an acoustic guitar, and then again, like I said, talk about the song. This is a really cool song for beginner guitarists, and I love songs like this where it's just a 4-chord progression the whole way through, and that's all you're doing for your chord hand, and then what you're doing is focusing on what you're doing on your picking and strumming hand. I really like songs like that because it's really easy to just remember those chords, and then you don't have to kind of, you know, stop and look down at your notes and try to figure out which part of the song you're on and that kind of stuff. You can really just focus on what you're playing over here on your right hand if you're right-handed, or left-handed if you're left-handed, whichever one is your picking or strumming hand. And this one, it's really easy. Like I said, there's pretty much just kind of 2 different picking pattern options we have for the verses, and then like I said, for the chorus and bridge, we're going to switch over that little strum pattern thing as well. So guys, it's a cool song, cool story, funny story behind the song, which I always like to know the story behind the song. So that kind of stuff is interesting to me. I hope you guys are into it too. But anyways, a lot of fun to play. I had a lot of fun learning this song. I hope you guys have a lot of fun learning it as well, and I'll see y'all soon.